We're good? Yeah. I think put this contraption on. Can you keep my purse with you?
Wireless 1 2 1 2. Okay. Let's get me checked on one of these, if that's okay. Well, I have to. Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Is that? It's 2. Okay. Check 1 2. Okay. I just need a moment to open the email because I had to. 2 minutes. Give me 1 second.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for bearing with us with our little technical difficulty. And my microphone wasn't working, so I'm going to be using this handheld. And anyway, welcome. We're glad to have you here today.
Welcome, everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone here and online, including those joining us at home. My name is Adam, and I'm your host for today, and Reverend David Old is my co-host. Here at Uni Spiritual Center of Windsor, we draw upon the universal wisdom found at the heart of all world's religions and offer spiritually progressive, socially responsive, and radically inclusive approach to life that is as practical as it is mystical. We come together to encourage and support one another in the individual spiritual journey. Wherever you are in that process, we are glad you have joined us today.
And we are very delighted to have Mike Karloff with us today to join us, providing piano.
Thank you,
of course, Adam.
Thank you, everyone. And now we're going to do an opening prayer. I'm grateful that you know my heart better than I do. Those wounds from my past that I can't even remember, you know everyone. As I explore my story with safe people, help me not to forget to involve you in every step of the way. Divine, I know better than to push my emotions down to the basement of my belly. I know that hidden things in darkness fester, and at times I am afraid. But I believe in the guidance to not be afraid. Remind me that you are in me and with me and in everyone along this journey towards wholeness.
And so it is. Amen. I also want to let everyone know that Susan Fabreau is our prayer chaplain. She's right over here raising her hand, and she will be available to pray with you directly after the service. So up in the prayer room upstairs.
We have our prayer request box right over here. And we also have our love offering box on the other side of the stage as well. And you're more than welcome to fill out your prayer request and submit it into the box. And our prayer request team will hold it in prayer for 30 days. So feel free to do that anytime you are here.
Well, it's now time for our first song. And so for those of you willing and able, I invite you to stand up and we'll start to sing a little bit.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this beautiful St. Patty's Sunday, March 15th. So wonderful to see so many of you here today, also wearing green, a beautiful color that covers this beautiful planet. And today we're going to be talking and exploring emotional intelligence. And for me, that's also our relationship with our emotions. And so Unity was founded on the principle of meditation, positive affirmation, and prayer, and being able to be positive and heal ourselves. And I think this topic is very appropriate and very personal because it's where Unity started. And so we're going to start with the healing song. And think about all the emotions you always feel and being kind to yourself with all of those emotions, even the ones that might not necessarily always be positive. May they always heal you and guide you. So let's start with the healing song. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Peace. Peace fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. God fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. God fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Thank you. Again, good morning, everyone. This beautiful March 15th, we're almost at official spring. It's spring in my mind as of last weekend's weather. So I hope you all are ready for a great spring. And again, everything is rebirthing from winter. And it doesn't necessarily mean it dies. It just goes into hibernation. And so I love this song because we draw from the ground. We hold the hand of the inner child. And we get ready for rebirth with spring. So up from my feet, in through my hands, down from my head, my spirit and soul, from the earth and back to the earth. Let's sing about being healed from the earth. Up from my feet, I call the healing power. Up from my feet, I draw to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from my feet, I know that I am healed. I know that I am healed. In through my hands, I call the healing power. In through my hands, I draw to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. In through my hands, I know that I am healed. I know that I am healed. Down from my head, I call the healing power. Down from my head, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Down from my head, I know that I am healed. I know that I am healed. With my spirit and soul, I call the healing power. With my spirit and soul, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. With my spirit and soul, I know that I am healed. I know that I am healed. Up from the earth, I call the healing power. Up from the earth, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from the earth, I know that I am healed. I know that I am healed. Back to the earth, I send the healing power. Back to the earth, I send it from my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Back to the earth, I know that I am healed. 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 Thank you.
Thank you so much. Those are really nice selections, song-wise, for today.
Thank you. And always lovely when Mike is here to play them. So we thank you so much, Mike, for all the behind-the-scenes stuff you do for us. And also when you're able to make it.
So unity teaches that each person is a unique individual expression of God, and that we create our experience of life according to the thoughts that we hold in mind.
Unity was founded on prayer. We believe and teach that affirmative prayer and meditation changes us by raising our consciousness and helping us to realize our connection with the divine truth of who we are.
And our affirmation for March is, the wisdom of spirit guides my thoughts, anchors my being, and expresses through my life. Would you please repeat that with me? The wisdom of spirit guides my thoughts, anchors my being, and expresses through my life. And now, Adam and Mike have a special song for us.
When Mike is here, I make sure I pick songs that I would never, ever in a million years perform. It's an ongoing joke every week. I love that some people are laughing. But there's some songs that just need this piano right next to it and this connection and this relationship. And for this week of emotional intelligence, I absolutely knew what song would fit. And I was hoping it was going to rain today. But I think the poetic irony of this song and this beautiful paint stroke of these lyrics, it's not meant to have like a defined picture. This song is just a paint stroke of emotional intelligence with humanity and our relationship with humanity. And this is It's Gonna Rain by Randy Newman, sung by Bette Midler from one of my favorite films, Beaches. Oh, yeah. Broken windows and empty hallways, a pale dead moon in the sky streaked with gray. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. Scarecrows dressed in the latest styles, with frozen smiles to chase love away. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. Lonely, tin can at my feet, I think I'll kick it down the street. That's the way to treat a friend. Ooh. Right before me, the signs implore me, help the needy and show them the way. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. And I think it's gonna rain today. And I think it's gonna rain today. Thank you.
Again, another lovely choice for a song today. Thank you so much. Lovely job. So, welcome everyone. It's really good to see a good crowd today. Really good to see some new people as well. So, a warm welcome, and also a warm welcome to those of us, those of you that are joining us online. So, we're grateful that you're here. As we begin our divine conversation on living from the inside out, I thought I would check in with my own emotional intelligence this morning. I asked myself how I was feeling, and my emotions sent back a polite auto reply saying, "I'm currently unavailable. Please try again after coffee." So it was good to remember that emotional intelligence isn't about having perfect feelings. It's about being aware of what's happening inside of us, even when what's happening inside us is not quite ready for the day. And that's really the heart of our theme, learning to live from the inside out, with awareness, compassion, and a willingness to listen to the wisdom already within us. So many of you know Louise Klimczak, who has been a longtime member here, a part of our community. But today we have the joy of welcoming her daughter, Linda Skoyles. And Linda served 24 years with the Windsor Police Service and later taught for 9 years at the Ontario Police College. She holds a master's degree in adult education and now consults, teaches at Conestoga College, and works with Police Governments Ontario. She brings a rich background in emotional intelligence, leadership, and inclusive learning. So would you please join me in offering a warm welcome as she comes to the stage. Linda. Welcome, Linda. Go ahead and have a seat. Well, it's delighted to have you here today, and I think one of the first questions that came to mind is what drew you into the work of emotional intelligence? And of course, that sort of ties in as to what is emotional intelligence. So if you could speak on that.
Sure. First of all, thank you very much. This is an honor to be here in front of you and with you just to share some thoughts and some experiences. When the Reverend sent me the questions to kind of think about what to talk about, I thought it was interesting because I've been doing some work within emotional intelligence for quite a while, and I had to take a step back and think, where did it all start? Or how did I get engaged in this? And really, it started with, as a police officer, and I got some training, but one of the important things to first start off with is to recognize that emotions and emotional intelligence is not about shutting off emotions, or I'll talk a lot about managing emotions, but it's using them and recognizing and understanding that they have a purpose, and as you mentioned, whether they're positive or negative emotions. As a police officer, one of the things that I was taught or that I adapted was this notion that you can't show emotion, right? You have to be stoic, and when you're talking with people, you have to sort of stay reserved, even though you might be dealing with some very difficult things and closing those emotions off. Unfortunately, what happens if you're not emotionally intelligent, but rather you're just shutting down emotions, then you can't control which emotions you're shutting down. So even if you're choosing to block out or not deal with negative emotions, you're also doing that with the positive ones. So in blocking out my experience and not wanting to deal with negative emotions, what was happening was I would be engaged in positive emotions and really not feeling them in the way that I used to or thought I should. So that was kind of part of the emotional journey, but the actual emotional intelligence concepts and learnings, I started after I left the policing, and I was teaching police officers, and I was teaching officers, and in a lot of leadership courses, there was this module or this concept of emotional intelligence, which was becoming in leadership circles in other organizations, but especially in policing. Let's find out what emotional intelligence is, because we are about dealing with people. We have processes and policies and regulations, but really it's all about relating with people and communicating with people, so you need to understand where they're coming from. It also really connected and resonates with me the more that I got into teaching, and when I was doing my master's in education, and when I was delivering a course to police officers who were becoming or wanted to become police trainers. And part of it was to try and change this culture that it's not about just being at the front of the room and telling people what to do. If you really want people to learn, if you want learning to stick with them, learning is connected with emotion. Learning and emotions and your memory and emotion are very strong. You can probably all think about, and I'll use a quick example. I will always remember, I think it was my 10th birthday, but Mom made me a Snoopy birthday cake. And for whatever reason, that I still remember that to that day. And then for my 40th, she made me one again, so that was great. But so the connection between remembering and an emotion, right? So whether it's a really positive experience or a negative experience, when there's a strong emotion attached, it's usually stored in your memory and your long-term memory. And so when I started to look at that connection and I wanted to give the best, most effective learning experience to my trainers and to have them go bring that forward in their training, I had them do some work on emotional intelligence, and part of that was recognizing some of your strengths and weaknesses, right? As a trainer, look at that, develop that yourself before you go and ask people to do certain things.
And I had written down a question for you and sent it to you. How do you see emotional intelligence showing up in everyday life, which you're speaking to? And you sent me this quote from Daniel Goleman. Just right up there. Yep. Emotional intelligence is understanding one's own feelings, empathy for the feelings of others, and the regulation of emotion in a way that enhances living. So what spoke to you with exactly how, and who is Daniel Goleman, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it starts, again, emotional intelligence is, and in the seminar later, we'll kind of two parts. There's emotions and recognizing your emotions, and then emotional intelligence is learning how to manage those emotions, how to recognize them, how to improve them. So Daniel Goleman, actually before him, so in the 1990s, there were two psychologists, Dr. Salovey and Mayer, and they were the ones who actually coined the term emotional intelligence. But in 1995, Daniel Goleman wrote a book, best-selling book, and I don't have yes, I do have it. So Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. And this really took off, especially in organizations, especially in leadership training and leadership circles. Not necessarily, I mean, in policing, we started to include it later, but it was very big in all kinds of business and management training. And part of it was recognizing that, so you have your intelligence IQ, your intelligence quotient. Most people are familiar with that, right? What is someone's IQ? It's a standard measure of your cognitive ability. It's a fixed thing. But a lot of people were getting hired for their IQ, or they're getting into school. There was a lot of focus on this static intelligence, whereas emotional intelligence and what organizations were recognizing is, again, we're dealing with people, and you're managing people. You're not managing processes. So how do you make that connection? First of all, know your own feelings. You can't manage or help people or mentor people if you don't know how to manage your own feelings. And then understanding how to do that for others. Understanding how, to read the room. Are you picking up on, if somebody's performance is not up to par, instead of just strictly looking at performance and work, what's really going on? So taking the human side and adding humanity back to work.
So our conversation, we put a title of Living from the Inside Out, Integrating Emotional and Spiritual Wisdom. So what is spiritual intelligence? And I look at spiritual intelligence as an awareness of our deeper self, the awareness of who we truly are as we teach it here in Unity. It's the observer behind the thoughts and the emotions. It's who is the one reacting, who is that? Who is the true self behind all of this? And then spiritual intelligence for me is being able to return to center easily. And when we get knocked off kilter, then just being able to center ourselves and get right back to center. So I asked a question also to Linda. I said, what resonates with you when you hear the phrase spiritual intelligence? And you sent me this quote from Richard Griffiths. This one right there. Spiritual intelligence equals IQ and EQ, exercise with presence. That's, yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, having even taught and been involved in emotional intelligence for a while, you know, spiritual intelligence, that term hadn't really come up a lot. And so I thought it was fantastic. My first thought and what resonated with me is it's the final piece, right? IQ is, we're talking about a fixed set intelligence. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, like we often call it, is now bringing together the pieces of the emotion, and then the spiritual IQ. So when it said, and I think I highlighted that word because I thought it was, we'll just get back to it, the quote. Yes, so spiritual intelligence is IQ plus EQ, exercised with presence. And I think two of those words are so important. Exercised with means it doesn't just happen. It's something that you have to work at. So, and I really see how your emotional intelligence, it's not fixed. It's not a steady straight. It can be changed. You can work on it. You can improve on it. And it can help you in your life. And then, so it's something you have to practice. And I also feel and believe that your spiritual intelligence is something that you have to practice. It doesn't, you know, you can't just say, okay, I'm good, right? You have to work at it. You have to think about it.
And I did add this from the original outline that I sent to you. I thought I needed to say something about spiritual intelligence versus spiritual wisdom. So spiritual intelligence is the capacity to access deeper awareness. That's how I look at that. And the wisdom is living that, embodying that, and to, you know, living and embodying that understanding. And then, so spiritual intelligence is the framework, and then wisdom is the expression. So that's how I looked at that. And I did have a slide here, quote, spiritual intelligence is the ability to access inner knowing, and spiritual wisdom is living from it. I like that quote.
Mm-hmm. Once again, when you see definitions of spiritual intelligence or emotional intelligence, and often you'll see that word ability. And again, that is telling you that this is something that you can choose to work on, can choose to develop, as opposed to your IQ. Your IQ is measured, it's standardized, it's fixed. You can go to school, you can get degrees, you can learn a lot more, and you can become more knowledgeable. That still doesn't change your IQ score. And so with emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence, it's really that ability to develop yourself. So self-development, self-awareness is a really big piece of it as well. Accurate self-assessment, so really taking a good look at what you are good at or not good at in your relationships, how you manage your emotions when you're dealing with people. Are you so wrapped up in your own emotions that you're perhaps not noticing their emotions as well? Because that's part of the relationship. That's part of the discussion.
Yeah. Another question I was going to ask you is, where do you see emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence naturally supporting one another, which you've just really just spoke on? And then where does the EQ and spiritual intelligence overlap? And I put up here on the screen, both require awareness, both help us respond rather than react, and both deepen compassion. And then there was a quote that I remembered from Eckhart Tolle. He says, awareness is the greatest agent for change, and I truly believe that.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I could just add, so where they overlap, I wrote down some key words, and I'm just going to read them out and sort of let it sit with you and think about really how emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence connect just through these words. Resilience, authenticity, integrity, self-awareness, growth mindset, humanity, mindfulness, and ethical. And again, these words come up often in emotional intelligence, and then really seeing the connection. Those are also all part of your self-development and being spiritually grounded, take some time to be mindful, take some time to meditate, or just take some time to be aware of what's happening.
Absolutely. And so how do they differ, emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence?
I think some of the differences, I don't think there's really a lot. Emotional intelligence and emotional, EQ has been integrated a lot in the business side of things or the workplace. It's really, strong in workplace. We popped into a Staples or something the other day, and the worker there was all excited because they'd had emotional intelligence training for work. So, but I don't see it as much, and one of the reasons that we want to talk about it more is it really applies. It started in the workplace, but it applies everywhere in all your relationships, your friendships, in your family. The difference, what I've seen, again, is emotional intelligence. There's been a lot of research and work. There have been sort of competencies and a framework and a lot of books that give you that structure on how to build it or how to practice it. I think it's a different approach in how you develop your spiritual intelligence versus your emotional intelligence.
I've got a quote here. Emotions tell us what we're experiencing. Awareness tells us who we are. That sort of struck me as.
Yeah, the emotion you're feeling, and again, and we'll talk about it in the workshop, and Louise will focus on really identifying and knowing your emotions and what you might think is anger. Really, if you take some time to look, it's not anger. I'm behaving like I'm angry, but it's actually coming maybe from frustration or maybe from fear. So taking time to identify the correct emotion that you're feeling, because some of them do overlap or present the same way.
So the other slide I have up here is how they support each other. So emotional intelligence, it grounds us in a skill, and also spiritual intelligence grounds us in being.
Yes.
And together, that helps us to embody that and embody a compassionate spirituality.
Yeah, I think they're both the focus on a human, being a human being, and humans interacting, right? We are human beings because we have emotions. We experience emotions.
Can you share an example of emotional intelligence opening the door to spiritual clarity?
I think the process of self-awareness and following those strategies, am I truly self-aware, taking an accurate assessment of the self, because maybe if you might feel or think or believe that you're very spiritual or that you're living that spirituality that you want to, I think you could use emotional intelligence to take that moment and go, okay, am I really, through self-awareness and an accurate assessment, am I doing this? And the nice thing with those is you can, if you're not, when you identify the emotional competency, then we can talk about, okay, well, what specifically could I do to improve this? And so you could say, if I'm recognizing that I'm not truly living my spirituality, what are some steps specifically that I could do to help me build that?
I have a quote here: skill and presence together create conscious action.
Yeah, I really like the word, again, conscious, and action. Again, these are not passive things. Your emotions are not passive, but your reaction and your ability to manage I'd be careful with the word manage. We see the word manage a lot. Managing your emotions does not mean, again, suppressing them. It means working with them. But it's a skill, it's an ability, and these are things that develop. They don't just come to you. If it's important to you, there are resources and there are ways to improve those areas as well. And it inevitably will improve, the relationships that you're having with the people around you.
And with emotional intelligence, as with spiritual intelligence, it's just a matter of practice then.
Absolutely,
That's right.
practice. It's
Practice.
a skill, so
It's a
that
skill.
means you have to practice.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So next slide here, why this matters for spiritual communities.
I think, well, I feel like we've talked about that already, because they are supportive of each other. They're really not that distinct. You can feel some of your emotions might be feelings of spirituality or brought on or connected to a spiritual act or a spiritual gathering. You know, as you're here for a spiritual gathering, you're also experiencing some emotions as well.
And I mean, emotional intelligence just helps us communicate better and
Absolutely.
relate to each other.
Absolutely.
And spiritual intelligence is remembering who we truly are. And we are here in Unity. We believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we have to remember the truth of who we are. And together, we just create with better emotional intelligence and better spiritual intelligence. We just create a healthier, more conscious community life. Yeah. And I have a quote here: "We are here to be a light, not a reaction." I like that quote too.
Yeah, and I think the reaction as well. So when you are, you know, I think everyone can probably think of a time recently where you had an interaction with someone and there were emotions involved. And reflect back and go, was the emotion, was it helpful or did it hinder? Because it could do both. And maybe play it back and reflect on it, and this is how we learn, is okay, that same interaction, if I had been aware of the emotion that I was feeling, I may not have said what I said, or may have reacted differently. Or if I had tried to take the time to understand or recognize the emotion that that person was bringing to the interaction, I may have, reacted differently. So it's definitely about improving your interactions, your relationships with everybody, which is hard work.
Absolutely. Well, the next slide is about the seminar. So what inspired you to do this workshop?
A couple of different things. Part of it was wanting to take it outside of the workplace, take it out of, a lot of the work I'm doing still is involved with policing, and I want to sort of step away from that and bring it, it's for everybody, it's not just for workplace training. It fits so well with so many things. And I was still, I think, surprised at a conference last year that we were hosting, how we were talking about emotional intelligence, and there were still quite a few people who had never even heard of it. And I thought, well, I thought it was odd, but I was so immersed in it and it was showing up everywhere. But really, it is so important, and I can't assume that, people are being exposed to it or made aware of it. So it was a nice opportunity to do that. It was a good opportunity to work with Mom. We haven't, we talk about stuff a lot. So just nice to, again, engage with people and share in that, but also learn from them.
So what can people expect in the workshop today?
So we've built it sort of in two parts. The first part, Louise is going to be talking about emotions, identifying emotions, some of the triggers, what they mean. So more of the psychological and the feelings part of it. And then even though they're separate, they're similar, because we're talking about now emotions, emotional intelligence, going back to Goldman, well, what is it? It's about your own feelings, and it's also about the feelings of others. And we're going to do some we're going to talk about, there's so many we can't, but we've chosen a few practical strategies, and we'll do a little self-reflection journal activity where people can have the opportunity to pick one and think about how you might, what you could do to improve it. So I also like what we want is people are going to walk away, having started that and with something to take with them. So a little more engaging rather than, it's not going to be us just talking at them.
So we do have a a seminar or workshop directly after, well, it's at 12 o'clock today. It's at 12 o'clock, and it's going to be upstairs in the classroom. So you are invited to attend, and if it gets too big, we can always come back down here.
There's more room.
There's more. Yeah.
Sorry, I think it's scheduled for 12:30.
12:30?
Yes.
Is it 12:30? Okay, 12:30. Excuse me there. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting.
Well, today reminded us that emotional and spiritual wisdom are already alive within us, waiting for our attention. And when we pause long enough to listen inwardly, we find clarity, compassion, and the next step rising from within us. As we continue learning to live from the inside out, may that inner wisdom guide how we show up for ourselves and for one another. So, Linda, I'd love to invite you to share a final insight or word of encouragement as we close this segment.
All right. I think the biggest thing is that it's about people. It's about human beings. And in this day and age where AI is everywhere and AI is growing, and computers and artificial intelligence can do a great many things, but I can't see it being able to have emotional intelligence. It's not going to be able to read, what a person is feeling or how they are expressing themselves. And we need to remember, with all the technology and everything going on, it's still about humans and human relationships and interactions, and those are the things that we need to keep our focus on.
Well, we do have time. Thank you, Linda. We do have time for a few questions, and I'm going to invite Adam to take this microphone around. But first, let me see. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, and also, right afterwards, she is going to lead us in a meditation.
Oh, right, yes. Oh, there's one over there.
Thank you.
I don't have a question. I just want to remind everyone to sign up if you're going to be at the class so that they know how many people will be there if you haven't signed up already. Okay? It's in the hospitality room, the list.
Thank you. Reverend Old, you know I have memory problems, and you know why. I would like you to copy what you have in your hands and what you have on the screen. I know you won't be able to copy her, but that's what we need. That's what we got to think about at home and remember. And I appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you.
Being a police, I know a lot about police officers, and I appreciate, especially the women that are coming into our society more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Hey, Linda, it's
Hi.
good to meet you and get to know you. Can you give like an example from your own life as a police officer? I was in the 80s, like dealing with being the only woman at the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine, and I've known lots of police officers because of working at the tunnel. But can you give me an example of how you learned to take care of your own emotions and not shut them down when,
Mhm.
do you have an example
Yeah.
from your own life?
I'm sure I have several. And it took me a while. It took me a while to. I was well into my career, not consciously aware that I was shutting down the emotions until really I was at a happy event, like a family event, probably to do with my daughters. One of my daughters is here. And so that's when I first recognized, like, I'm not feeling joy. I'm not feeling like something's not right, because this is an event where everybody's excited and there should be that feeling. So that's when I realized it, but it still took some time. Part of it is having some people to talk to. part of it is, boy, that's such a great question. And there was a lot of struggles, and you brought it up as well, like, women in policing is very difficult. I think my emotional intelligence came through, maybe not so much with the people in the organization, but going to calls. I did a lot of work with domestic violence, and that was my passion, and that was my, calling for that. So finding that balance, looking at, okay, I'm getting too invested in this, so I do feel this, I do, empathize, and I care about the people, but I have to also remain clear. So taking a step back, and actually there was one time where it was a very involved case, and I really felt strongly, and it went to court, and he was found guilty, and I got a call about it, and I broke down crying, and I thought, well, that's really interesting, because I've never had that kind of reaction. So I got a little too close there to that one. That was a little too personal. So it's learning along the way, and you want to put the shield up. You want to put the armor up. It's working at it a little bit every day, and it's practice. That's what it is. It's practice, right? Because you can't just turn them on and off. And if you turn them off, they're off. Every emotion is off. So that was a lesson I had to learn as well, because I'm missing out on the joys. Hopefully that helps.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we have time for one more question.
Okay, Mike. Sure.
Love and hate, would you say they are emotions or are they choices?
I would say they're emotions, but you choose once you identify, okay, or I say I'm feeling hatred for something or someone. What is, I might want to go, what is the core, or what is the trigger for that hatred? Because hate, they're both very strong emotions, and hatred is such a powerful emotion where people can do things, or things happen because they didn't take a second to go, okay, why is it such a strong, why does it have such a strong hold on me? So it's always about, if I'm feeling hatred or hate, which is very powerful, why? And then what is the emotion or feeling that's going on with it? I'm feeling this hate to the point where it makes me want to emotionally react, or I'm feeling this hate, why am I feeling it? It might be triggering or connecting to something else in my life that I didn't take the time to think about. So I think regardless of the emotion, and those are probably the two most powerful, and I would say the two sides of the coin, right? Because they are so strong. Using practicing these emotional intelligence strategies to go, why is it that emotion? Why is it so strong? I don't know, maybe Louise has some more about the love-hate emotion perspective. We're going to learn all about it.
Yes, in the workshop. So if you do have any more questions, you can certainly bring them upstairs for hospitality, and also for the workshop afterwards. So at this time, I am going to invite Linda to, she's agreed to lead us in a guided meditation. So Linda, I'm turning that over to you.
All right. If you don't mind, I'm going to stand. I actually have this tendency, usually when I'm teaching, I'm wandering all over the place, so it's really hard to stay still. But I don't want it to be a distraction, so because we'll do a little meditation. If I'm walking by you, just sort of acknowledge it and let it go. It has nothing to do with you, and I don't want it to be disturbing to people. So the first thing that I would ask you to do, and I think most of you are already in a comfortable position, you can choose to close your eyes, or you can choose to have them remain open, whatever you're most comfortable with. And if you like, while you're sitting in your comfortable position, you can simply rest your hands on your lap or at your side. Whether or not they're open or palm down is absolutely up to you. I want you to just feel the seat underneath you. You can feel that there's a solid foundation there holding on to you so that you know that you can take this opportunity to relax. Feel your feet, and I'm hoping that everybody can reach the floor. And if your feet aren't touching the floor, that's okay. Just let them sort of dangle and know that they're grounded. If your feet are touching the floor, just feel them grounded to the earth, nice and stable. Start to focus on your breathing. And I'm not going to do a breath count. You know how to breathe, but let your body dictate your breathing, your breath in and your breath out. And while you're focusing on breathing in and breathing out, you may have thoughts coming into your mind, and just acknowledge them and then send them away and return to focusing on your breathing. As you continue to focus on your breathing, notice the sensations in your body. Take another breath. Focus on relaxation, knowing that you are in a safe environment, knowing that your body is taking care of you with your breath and your heart and your blood pumping. These are not things that you need to think about. Your body is naturally taking care of these. And as you continue to relax, again, any intrusive thoughts can be acknowledged and then sent away for another time. As you're focusing on your breath, you may notice sounds or sensations around you, the sound of the fan humming in the background. Just know that those sounds are helping you to relax even deeper. Any emotions or feelings that are entering your body or your mind, come and go with ease, without judgment. Continue to focus on your breath. Know that whether you hear the sound of my voice or you hear the silence, it is still your time to relax. Take this opportunity in this very busy life and very busy world of ours to calm and quiet your body, your emotions, to feel and draw from the positive emotions that are surrounding you. Allow each breath in to feel like a new beginning. And the breath out, a release of tension or stress. And a nice breath in for the renewal of spring. And a breath out to send away the sometimes gloomy or dreary days of winter. And know that it's time now for spring and renewal. And faith with your community. I encourage you now to return your awareness to the seat beneath you, your feet on the floor, the feeling of your hands on your lap or beside you. Start to take a nice deep breath in. And a breath out to anchor this feeling as you can slowly return your awareness now to this room, to these people. And go ahead and, if your eyes are closed, open them when you feel comfortable. Get my stuff.
Linda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And it was absolute delight having you here. And I personally look forward to the seminar later on today. So
Excellent.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
bringing me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh,
So I do want to thank Linda again for being here. Linda, that really was I really enjoyed that having that conversation with you. I'm sure everybody else did too. And I do want to thank Adam and Mike for providing us with the music.
And thank you, Claudio, for spearheading our slideshow and our video at home. So round of applause for Claudio as well, filling in for Ibrahim. Thank you so much.
So at this time, let us take to heart our vision, mission, and statement of being, which is shown on the screen.
We have a global vision. Will you please speak it with me? Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
And we have a sacred mission. Will you say that with me? We inspire and empower spiritual growth to awaken us and transform the world.
And we have a personal statement of being. Will you please say that with me? I am a dynamic center of the Christ light, mighty to unfold my good and radiate that good to all.
Thank you. So we do have several important announcements for you today. And remember that additional information for each of these events can be found on our website and also in our newsletter. And also, take a look up there and look at the various things, classes and workshops and so forth that are coming up, and be sure to sign up for them if you are interested in coming. Right upstairs today, it is our birthday day for everyone that was born in March. So come upstairs and celebrate those birthdays and eat some cake.
Today from 11:15 till 12:30 in the bookstore, there is a book study group, and they will be reading the book entitled Diamond in Your Pocket. Today, that's 11:50 until 12:30.
So they planned it so that you could go to the to the seminar afterwards. Also today, well, you know, the next on the list here is the workshop. So you know about that, and I'm looking forward to going to it.
This Tuesday, March 17th, on St. Patty's Day from 5 p.m. till 11 p.m., the Social Committee has organized a St. Patrick's Day night out at the McGregor Tavern and Eats to enjoy live music with our very own Michael Greaves and his company Irish Band. So it's going to be lots of fun. Wear your green, and please be sure to sign up upstairs so we can reserve your place at the table and get final numbers.
And Michael, raise your hand back there. We're looking forward to that. And you dressed up in the green today. Very happy for you. I didn't wear a green at all, so if you have to pinch me, you have to pinch me. So next Sunday in the sanctuary, our guest speaker will be our licensed Unity teacher, Mariette Jones. And her talk title will be, "Blessed Are We the Different Ones." We are the different makers. I like that title.
One of my favorite sayings that I've adopted this year is differently different. So I'm looking forward to that one. Also next Sunday, March 22nd, from 12:30 until 2:30 in the first floor classroom, Christine Paris will be facilitating part 2 of her 4-part series entitled Letting Go Through Giving.
And I think this one is about food art, if I remember correctly. So the last one was really fun. So on March the 27th, from 5:30 to 8:30 in the hospitality room, the Unity Social Committee will be holding a games night. So it was scheduled for this past Friday, but the weather was sort of wonky, so we canceled it and we rescheduled it. So it'll be March the 27th, and just come out for fun and laughter and playing some games. And since some people will be coming after work, bring some food for the potluck table.
On Sunday, March 29th, from 12:30 to 2:30 in the classroom, Claudio will be giving a seminar entitled Metaphysics is G-O-D. Claudio is right over there running tech today, so please be sure to speak with Claudio so you can sign up.
And I am looking forward to that. So also Friday, April the 10th, just to give you a heads up, that's a Sunday, from Friday, April the 10th to Sunday, April the 12th, at the Holy Family Retreat House in Oxley, Tammy Meloche will be holding a retreat entitled Awaken Your Why. And there is a reduced early bird registration fee if you register by March 20th, so please see Tammy's flyer for full details. And Tammy, are you here? No, not. Okay.
On Friday, April 17th, from 7 p.m. until about 8:15, right here in the sanctuary, I'm very proud to have organized our very first spring fundraising concert. And I have 2 of my 3 lovely musicians right over here. There's Chris and Ashley, and John will be coming too. And very excited to use this beautiful space for our first fundraising concert, which will be April 17th here in the sanctuary. Doors will be 6 p.m. Concert will be 7. And I, along with my other musicians, will be playing positive and uplifting music for you all. Afterwards, everyone is welcome to join us on the 2nd floor of Rock Bottom, just up the road, and we'll give information and provide directions as well, just so we can all, get here on a Friday night after a busy week, enjoy some song, and then have some time afterwards. Tickets will be $20, and all proceeds are to benefit Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor. So very excited, very grateful. We're hoping to get it bigger and better. Mike, when you're available, we'll definitely get you on board, and it's going to be a beautiful, wholesome night.
And we are grateful for you for putting
you.
this together. We're looking forward to it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So just a reminder that Susan Fabro is our spiritual, our prayer chaplain for today, and she will be upstairs in the prayer room for anyone desiring to have someone pray with them.
As we come to a close of our Sunday experience, we take a moment to honor the generosity that sustains our beautiful community. Everything we do here is made possible because of each of you that show up in love. Thank you for being the heart of the Spiritual Center of Windsor.
Our love offering box has been moved up here to my left. If you feel called to share a financial gift today, you're welcome to place your financial gift there as you leave the sanctuary. And your giving of every kind truly makes a difference, and so we thank you.
And also on the right of us, we have our prayer request box. Our prayer request chaplains hold each prayer and intention in sacred confidentiality, and will hold it in prayer with you for 30 days.
So at this time, I do invite you to take a breath with me, relax your shoulders, and open your heart as we enter into a moment of gratitude and blessing. So as we bring our time together to a close, we carry with us a reminder that true wisdom begins within. Today, we've explored what it means to live from the inside out, to let our emotional awareness and our spiritual knowing work together as one. May we move into the week, grounded, centered, and guided by the quiet truth that lives in the heart of each of us. We turn our attention now to the prayer box, holding in our hearts the intentions placed there and the intentions still unspoken. We join with the prayer chaplains in affirming that divine love is already at work and that truly all things are working together for the good. And now, together, let us speak our love offering prayer, affirming the flow of abundance in our lives and in this community. Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And now in this field of gratitude and blessing, I invite you to stand as we close with the prayer of protection and our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. The light of the love surrounds us.
We are light.
The love of the divine enfolds us.
We are love.
The peace of love fills us.
We are peace.
And the power of love protects us.
We are power.
The presence of love watches over us.
We are presence.
And wherever we are, love is.
All is divine.
And my friends, you truly are. Thank you.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, and please join us upstairs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week.